You just want it to be part of the culture. You're in Ireland, gotta celebrate the culture.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's kind of like what I was thinking too. Like I was thinking, like, oh, like this, like I almost would feel weird not trying something, because I'm in Ireland. But so because if I didn't want to drink at all, I probably should have chose another country because I had opportunities to go to other countries and I chose Ireland for one because I am part Irish. So I wanted to like fly to Ireland and experience like where my ancestors came from. So like that was one big thing. And like so I just have always like appreciated the beauty of Ireland. So just like so I went and like so I definitely had the full Irish experience, including
I
the
love it.
drinks. And this is actually definitely breaking news to most people. The only people I told this about, all I told this story or like about was to my mom. So, like so I definitely have learned from this trip to if I'm ever going to drink again, definitely limit myself. But for the most part, I live a pretty sober life. Like I don't even drink here, like in Alabama, that's for sure. Like I drink mainly water, and I have a Coca-Cola for dinner, not Coke. So yeah, I have a Coca-Cola, have a water, or I'll have a sweet tea because I'm in the South. So those are like my three mainly like go-to drinks. So definitely have learned my lesson from that final night in Ireland.
Did you throw up?
I actually did not. So, and I actually didn't get to the point that I actually didn't get to the point to where I blacked out. Yeah, I definitely never want to get to that point because I just feel like that's just so scary to like not remember what I did. So I definitely didn't get to that point. So I guess if you could say like on a scale from 1 to 10, I was probably maybe like a 3 or 4. Like maybe I was just tipsy.
Tipsy to the point of being drunk. But then, of course, your alcohol tolerance is so low that even like just a couple drinks can make you feel really drunk. And it also depends on age and weight and gender and height. Alcohol's weird. So it all depends on like everything, but you don't drink enough, drink a lot anyways. So that makes sense that having those 3 beers and a couple of shots can like send you overboard. Whereas me, I had to drink 5 bottles a week just to maintain a tipsiness.
Yeah, so Liza, we definitely have two different perspectives on it because like I said, you had it more to where you were like tolerant to it in your past. And listen, definitely for me, I grew up in a very, conservative, style family where my dad grew up, my dad did used to drink, but then he stopped drinking. Like once my oldest brother um was a kid, and I think he asked him, like my dad picked up a case of beer at one time when my oldest brother was like 3 years old, and he asked him like you're not going to buy that, are you? And my dad put the drink down, and he's never drank ever since. So that was probably a good 40
Wow.
plus years ago. So that definitely took a lot of strength because he used to, from what I hear, used to drink, but less of it now. He is 40 years plus without drinking. So kudos to him for that.
Kudos for him. My dad would never. I think he still goes and gets a beer every so often. I mean, of course, it was my parents. It was mostly my dad who said I told him before they even knew how bad I was drinking. I said, "Hey, would it be possible to not drink in front of me?" And very just a very simple request. I'm the son, so you think they would like respect that wishes. And then they was like, you just can't ask people to do things for you, Alex. I was like, cool, then I'm going to drink in front of you guys. I don't care. I'm 21.
Mm, yeah, so that's definitely quite a reaction. You would think that they would, would put you before themselves, especially since, like you said, you're their son.
Please.
Yeah, so yeah, so that's definitely unfortunate, but I think I kind of want to turn this into a little bit more of a positive thing. So my next question is like what made you stop drinking? Like was
That,
there, sorry to interrupt, but was there a moment where like you realized like this is it, like no more?
when I was suspended from BBC, because that incident happened. And then literally 2 months later, they suspended me out of literally. I didn't drink on camp. I did nothing on the campus. Um, but they took back the wood and they suspended me. Um, and so I still drank about 2 or 3 months after that, just because, like, okay, I am out of options now. But then I actually took therapy more seriously. I've been going to therapy since 2016, but I only took it very seriously after 2020, after just everything that happened at BBC. And I know I mentioned Jake before. I kind of made a public apology, but Jake and I were still friends, but we had a falling out. And doing, again, this was January of 2020. This is before the pandemic was even thought of in the US, I guess. Um, um, and we just during those times, it's just like, maybe I do need to change. It was that time, like, I guess I need to change because I can't lose Jake. That's the only thing in my mind at that point. So I took therapy very seriously for the first time in 4 years at that point. And I got another one. So I have a counselor, two counselors. Anyways, Starbucks pays for one, and the other one I don't pay for. He's just a really good. He's retired, and so he offered therapy for college students. So out of his, he's bored. He's just bored. So BBC, as much as they hurt me, and much as I'm trying to forgive them, really did set me on a path of sobriety and taking my mental health very seriously, not just going to the bottle not going to the bottle to numb whatever I was feeling, anxious or depressed or anger. So yeah, and I've been 2 years sober, I think sometime this month. I didn't check the days. But I know it was June of 2020 since I ever had a drink. And I mean, that's not to say I'm not tempted every day. That's not to say that I want to drink every day. But I choose to not drink, and I choose to not get tempted because I know how it feels to be drunk. I know how it feels to be so reliant on alcohol that I couldn't, like, for a long time. I had to drink something from 8 a.m. to about 10 p.m. I was constantly drinking, like every 2 hours, every 3 hours, or whatever. I had to drink something. So whether that was drinking a lot of vodka in the fridge before I went to work, or getting something from like the beer and wine section from the grocery store, going to happy hour, I had to have alcohol in me at all times for like 3 years. So to come out of that to the point of I'm only drinking water and coffee and juice is is a miracle. It's a miracle of God. It was all because of him that I was able to not to be sober for 2 years. Because honestly, I even told my other friends this. I was like, if you would have told me 2 years ago Yeah, I'll be 2 years sober. I'm like, yeah, white, crazy. I literally was so heavily into taking alcohol that I never thought I would see the day. Never thought I would text people saying I've been 2 years sober. Never. I never thought that.
Wow. I just think that's just such an amazing testimony to like to just first of all just to how God can change somebody's life. I think that's just so amazing to hear that like you as a once you got, expelled and once you went through your other experiences with BBC, like I think you just having the self-awareness to realize that like there definitely needs to be change in my life because it can get worse from here and you could have gone down a whole different path. So listen, just seeing where you are now, just knowing that you are currently a GCU and you are about to graduate, with a major in worship ministry. I just think just I never knew, I just met you earlier this year and just hearing about your story just from not that long ago. Like it just seems unbelievable. Like I feel like it's I know you didn't make it up, but it just feels like this just feels like you're a totally different person than what I'm hearing you like